I am feeling so good about today. Hello, how you do? How you do? I am feeling so good about today because I made up my mind today to do things differently. I'm used to the studio, I'm used to the big lights, I'm used to ready in 3, 2, 1, and all that fanciness from the Eric show. So I've been wanting to start a podcast so that I can share so much more with you because we're all on this human journey and we're all sharing in this human experience. But guess what? We need help. We need support for each other because all of us we're in it and none of us getting out of it alive. But while we're in it, how can we help support each other so all of us can become so much better and become so much more? So today while on the road, I was like, Eric, all right, you want to do this podcast and you're going to bring in all the gears and all these things so that I can make it fancy. And I said, no, no, Eric, just start. Find a way to start. So here I am, right here, finding a way to start. In fact, what I want to talk to you today about is find a way. Find a way. Find a way. We see nature all around us every day, and nature is there, nature and finding a way. The trees are there finding a way to grow. The fruits are there finding a way to grow. I went to the country the other day and this very old mango tree. That mango tree is so old, it is so old. It is older than my mother who's 60 years old. It is older than my grandmother who's 78 years old. It's very old. And some time ago, we did some cutting with that tree. So I went to the country to visit grandma and I went to the back of the house. And I went to the back of the house and I saw that mango tree. That mango tree had on about 6 mangoes. I was like, this mango tree actually bearing? I was shocked. And the leaves were pretty fresh. And you could not tell that that mango tree is older than I am, is older than my mother, and is older than my grandmother, and I'm sure probably older than my great grandmother. But that mango tree continued to find a way. Now, if the Creator gave us dominion over the trees and the animals, and they are every single day finding a way to live, finding a way to feed us, finding a way to provide for us. What about us? Why are we not finding a way to be successful? Why are we not finding a way to achieve our goals? Why are we not finding a way to keep our mind healthy, our mental health, our mind, everything about us healthy? So let's talk about finding a way. When I was growing up, I want to talk about finding a way from in relationships, in your business, and many other areas of life. We're just gonna talk. Let's talk. When I was growing up, it wasn't the most fanciest of life at all. It wasn't, a lot of roses and silver spoon, as they say, you born a silver spoon in your mouth. That wasn't the case for me at all. So I grew up in an extended family, all right? And we never had the wherewithal so that, I could say that we're well off. No, we're poor. We're so poor that as a youngster, right? My mother shared with me that as a youngster, I attempted to run away. All right. I have just a little memory of it. All right. I attempted to run away. No, please, if you're watching, do not run away from home. All right. Do not run away from home. So I attempted to run away. And when the neighbor right? It's the name of Miss Maisie. Hi, Miss Maisie. Right, Miss Maisie. She catch me when I was trying to pass her gate, right? I had on a knapsack bag. I was probably barefooted, all right? And I was probably about 8 years old, maybe. Yeah, I remember that much. And when she called my mother came for me, and my mother was like, why are you running away? I was like, I'm going to my aunt, which is I call her Auntie Nora. I'm going to my aunt because I'm tired of this poor life here. This life here is too hard. I'm tired of this hard life here. You know, of course, mom took me back home, and I never tried to run away again, right? But from then, I could recognize that my life was different and that we never had things easy. But what I know for sure is that we never, ever, ever one day go to our bed hungry. Never go to bed hungry, ever. Right? My mother never always had a job, or let's say a steady jobs. They would have been odd jobs. Yeah? My grandma, she would have had a steady job. She would have been a good help to the Catholic priests at the rectory in our community. So grandma was the main breadwinner. My grandfather by then, he would have gone old. My father is another story that you will learn about another day. All right. But it's not just me, but for the extended family, my cousins and aunts and family was always big, and we always had relatives there and stuff like that. So I could never understand how grandma provided. How did grandma find a way always? So when I would look where you would store food, and it wasn't fancy. It wouldn't have been the cupboards. Yeah, it would have been probably a bucket. Yeah, there was just probably nothing there in most cases. But grandma always find a way, or found a way, whatever. But we're talking about find a way today. All right. So no matter what, grandma would just spin around those ingredients that she would probably find around the house. Whether it's some breadfruit, some bananas, and whatever the seasoning that she had. And when grandma pulled all of that together, let me tell you, you do not miss the chicken, you do not miss the fish, you do not miss the beef, you miss nothing like that. Because no matter what it is, the food was just always so nice. Grandma would find a way. How did she find a way? I don't know. But what I do know is that grandma serves the waymaker. Are you listening to me now? Grandma served and still serves, yeah, the waymaster. So grandma has always been a praying woman, and I learned that in order to find a way, you must have a source. You must have a source that is greater than yourself to help you to find a way. Let's talk about, or let's remember this experience in the Bible. Yeah, the children of Israel, the Israelites, when Moses took them, yeah, from the prisons of Pharaoh, from the clutch of Pharaoh, from the grips of Pharaoh, and they were all on their way to freedom, to the land of milk and honey, and all that you can always imagine. But while they're on their way, they came across the Red Sea. For you, you're on your way. You have been held down for so long. You have had challenges going to school, but you went anyway, and now you're out. The relationship wasn't working out with the man or the woman. And now you're on your way, probably in singledom. You're probably on your way to a new relationship, but you're still hesitant somewhat. You've just started a business, or you've been in business for such a while now, or for a long while now. But what is happening is that the Red Sea is before you. The Red Sea, red jacket. The Red Sea is right before you. And you feel as if right now you have no way out. You can't turn left, you can't turn right. Just either you're stepping forward and you're getting closer to the Red Sea, because no matter what, you have to get your way through. You have to go to get over on the other side. What are you going to do? Now, for the children of Israel, they started to complain. But what they didn't know is that Moses was being led by the Waymaker. My grandmother was being led by the Waymaker. A greater source than himself for Moses. A greater source than herself for my grandmother. And when Moses now turned to God, I can imagine God right now in that moment. Because probably Moses, would have been there. Moses is there, fearful now. Moses probably say, no, what should I get the people in? Lord, you didn't tell me about the Red Sea? Because on your way, you're not going to know about the Red Sea. On your way, you're not going to know about the other obstacles. Yeah? If you should know about all these obstacles ahead of time, don't let the journey be an experience that you will come out as fine gold at the end, if you know the obstacles ahead. It's while going through the obstacles that you become stronger. It's while going through the obstacles that you learn. Yes, you might be watching right now and you might be saying that, hey, Alric, I hear what you're saying, but, I've had enough obstacles, but that's life. It makes you better. And it's not just about you. It's not just about you going through the fire. It's not just about you meeting up with the Red Sea. You go through this so that you can share with others to help others to make their life better. I don't know why my eye itching me, yeah? I guess my eye not wanting me to see the Red Sea before me. And I'm not afraid to approach the Red Sea, because I've been in front of a lot of Red Seas before. But what do I know how to do? I know how to pray. And I know about the Waymaker. So in your business right now, what is that Red Sea before you? In your relationship now, what is that Red Sea before you? Yeah? But if you are anchored by determination, if you are anchored with consistency, and if you're anchored with dedication, I will get across. I will get over on the other side. What are you telling me? Because when you look over on the other side, you can see other people over on the other side. They went over the other side. It's like also getting to the mountaintop, and you travel on the rough side of the mountain to get to the mountaintop. And when you get to the mountaintop, because you have been working all your life, you've been trying to find a way all your life. And when you finally connect with the way, and you're on top of that mountain top, you're like, whew. But then when you realize that you're not, there's still more, there's a lot more way to go. Because there's a lot more that you need to do for yourself, for your family, for your friends. And again, we are all on this life's journey together. There are a lot of other people that you need to encourage, a lot of other people that you need to share with. Yeah? You can't be selfish on finding a way. I will always encourage people, though, to get to the other side. And then you try to help others over. I will never endorse trying to take people with you over. That's too heavy. That's too heavy. Get over, and then you can make your way back and bring them over. Yeah? You don't have to, you don't have to agree with me, But I know from my experience what it has been like to carry others on the back. It's harder to carry. The journey gets harder. Yeah? Travel light. Travel light. And then cross over, put out a hand and bring them over. But for Moses and the Israelites, when the Red Sea presented itself, it was the Waymaker that parted that Red Sea and they were able to cross over. Yeah? The enemy that was after them, the enemy drowned in that Red Sea. You must know that the problems that you are having in your life right now, they will drown in that Red Sea because you're not taking them with you over on the other side. Because once the way is parted, because you're going across the Red Sea now. Why? Because you are dedicated, because you are committed, and because you have remained consistent, and most importantly, you have been praying your way through. So you have been able to get over on the other side. Remember, do not take the problems with you over on the other side. Find a way. Find a way. You know, I decided the other day that I was going to do a little farming, you know, a little farming at home here, yeah? So I used to farm right away. I used to farm right away. Yes, I was a farmer when I lived in the country. I used to farm as a youngster, right? As I get older, for some reason, the sun is a lot hotter. So I'm like, whoa, farming thing rough now, right? Farming thing rough. So my good friend Levan who said to me, you were a farmer? I was like, yes, Levan, I was a farmer. You mean a farm fool of yourself, whatever. But anyways, so I decided that I'm doing some farming. So I said, let me try out my hand with some pineapples. So I got 3 pineapple head, they say the head of the pineapple, and I planted it. And I got 5 of them. I got 5, and I planted it, and one survived. All 5 got the same amount of care, the same amount of attention, the same amount of love, the same amount of nurturing, but only one survived. I'm going to leave you there with that, on that, because I want to talk to you about the importance of timing in another video. Yeah, so remind me to talk about my pineapples. But while I was weeding around my 1 pineapple now, yeah, and also I had some lemongrass, right? And lemongrass is doing very well too, right? But while I was weeding around, I noticed over the concrete, some grass was coming up out of the concrete. And when I saw the grass coming up out of the concrete, I said to myself, how amazing God is. What determination. Yeah? What effort. Yeah? If the grass that I have dominion over, if the grass that you have dominion over is pushing its way up through the concrete, is finding a way up out of the concrete, what about you? What is there to stop you? What is there to stop me from coming up out of the concrete? It's time for us to be a lot more dedicated to ourselves. Because, it is it's surprising that we at times can be dedicated to other things that is not even aligned with our purpose. And to people who are not even aligned with our purpose, that we are dedicated to them, we are committed to them, and then we treat ourselves like a nobody. We treat ourselves like, we're not important. Yeah? So the grass was busy coming up out of the concrete. And when I saw that, I was like, that's so amazing. That is amazing. The grass is pushing forth. And that for me came as a lesson right there, even though I plucked it. It's like, hey, good job, but hey, come, time to go. But the lesson in that is there's nothing there to stop you. There's nothing hard enough to stop you. That concrete, though hard it is, cannot stop that grass from coming forth. So there's nothing that should stop you from finding a way out. It is dependent on you. You are your own solution. You are your own victory. You are the light. You are the seed that needs to come out of the concrete. Find a way. When I was much younger, way younger, like younger, all right, younger. I was just entering television, media back then, and I met a producer. And I asked her, I said, can I be a part of your team? I was willing to work for free because, I love media. This is what I want to do. And she said to me, can you do sales and sales? Can you do sales? And I was like, what? In those days, I had no idea what sales, what sales is all about. I had no clue. I didn't even know what it is, sales. Um, didn't know that I was even practicing sales as a youngster. I'm going to tell you about it. So I said to her, I'd like to help you. And she said, can you do sales? I was like, no. And what is it? When she told me about it, I said, I am willing to learn. So in that moment, I was willing to find a way to learn. And the way to learn this is to go and work for free. Because I need to find out my way into television. I need to find my way into media because I have been determined from 12 years old that I want to do media. And I remain consistent in my thoughts that I want to do media. I spent a year with her and I learned sales and marketing. And here I am today. I do marketing, I do sales as a consultant, yeah. That's what I do. And that's how the business works. So it's about finding your way. It's about pursuing your passion nonetheless. Find a way to get it done. So when people are going to come to me and say, I don't have the money, let me tell you something. That is one thing I can never agree with. Because there's nothing so hard. There's nothing so difficult to stop you from finding your way. Nothing. The grass came up out of the concrete. What are you telling me? The Israelites were right there before the Red Sea, and they went across because guess what? The way maker was there to make a way. So what is your source that you are leaning on to help you to make a way? You can't just lean on the source and not do anything else. You can't just do that. You have to put in some work. You have to make some effort. You get what I'm saying? You have to make some effort. So it's the same thing for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You remember them, yeah? You remember them, yeah? Yeah? When Nebuchadnezzar said, you're going into this furnace, and I'm going to make it, I believe, 7 times hotter. It was so hot that even the soldiers that threw them in died from that heat. And when they went in, because they said that we are not bowing, we shall not bow. I've heard of Christians long ago who were brought before a tyrant's throne. You know that song? They said, no, we're not bowing. We're not bow. We not bowing. But when they were thrown in the fire, 3 of them, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when Nebuchadnezzar looked, the soldiers and all the people that gathered looked, they saw 4 people in it. Remember, the soldiers died from the heat alone. They were not in the fire. But when they looked in the fire, they saw 4. But on your way, to find your way, you're going to need supernatural protection. You're going to need supernatural backative. You're going to need supernatural connection so that the problems that bound your hands, like the rope that bounded Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, yeah, they'll burn off. They will burn off. The problems will burn off. But you will come out victorious. You will not come out with any scar. You will not come out with any burns. Because you have supernatural connection. You have supernatural protection. You have supernatural guidance. Because you have the way maker to back you. For those of us who are in business can be very hard these days. Well, from ever since, business has always been hard. And why a lot of businesses, why the doors are still open, is because the leaders, they are dedicated, they are committed, yeah, and they are consistent. They believe that there is a way. They are not just believers, but they are workers. Yeah? Because faith without works, dead. So they continue to pray and to worship the Waymaker, who continue to help to make a way, no matter the Red Sea that we come across for you. Find a way. Find a way. Find a way. The universe has everything in it that you need to find a way. None of us, just imagine, none of us came here with the house, the car, and every single thing. Sometimes I can bet if you want to pinch yourself, right? Let's get a little hot here. Let's get some cool down inside here. Yeah? I'm sure sometimes you pinch yourself because you grew up in such difficulty and with such challenges. And when you pinch yourself, you said, wait, you are there in traffic. Yeah? And you're like, wait, is this me? Am I driving? This is my car. I have a car. And when you get your keys to your apartment, you get your keys to your house, your 1 bedroom, your 2 bedroom, your 3 bedroom, your mansion, you're like, God, Waymaker, Waymaker. It's not just by my might, yeah, but because of your love for me, I'm able to make a way. I'm able to have this roof over my head. When you pinch yourself, yeah, because sometimes you're wondering if you're in the matrix. Sometimes you're wondering if you're in another world, if this is an out-of-body experience. Is this for real? Because there is no way you could have gotten to here, given the circumstances that you were born in, and given the challenges that would have that you would have experienced along life's journey. But there's one thing that I know, is that the Waymaker, he will do it again. There's a song that says, he will do it again. Don't you know that God has not changed? If he did it before, he can do it now, and he can do it tomorrow, and then the day after tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. That's how the Waymaker works. He will help you to find a way. Because you know why he will help you to find a way? Because you are also doing your part to find a way. Let me tell you, I want you right now to share in the comments what your challenges, maybe 1 or 2 challenges, what was your Red Sea? What was your Red Sea that you thought that you could not get over on the other side of a better life? What was your Red Sea that you never thought that you could get a house? What was your Red Sea that you never thought that you'd be able to feed your children, to feed yourself, to provide shelter? What was your Red Sea, and how did you get across? Share that in this comment, and let's continue the conversation. Call your friends, call your family, bring them in on this conversation, because we're about to have more of these conversations. You know, I promise I'm about to stop, but I'm getting excited now. When we talk about finding a way, on your way, you experience what we call rock bottom. You experience what we call rock bottom. I will talk about that in another video. We need another video for that. Yeah? So don't preempt me. Don't tell me about the rock bottom experience. I want you to tell me about the Red Sea in your way and how you got over it. Yeah? How you bubble over it. Yeah? How you roll over it. Yeah? Over on the other side, where now you experience the milk and the honey. Sometimes the milk and the honey run out, you know. Sometimes it run out, but you have to put in more work again to get the refill. Yeah. Sometimes it gets a little low, right? And you have to keep working, because it's all about still finding your way. It's a journey. Yeah. And remember, in another video, we need to talk about time. Remember, I was telling you about my pineapples that I planted. 5 of them, but only 1 One is big and strong, and I'm waiting on that pineapple to come. you know, we're going to talk about the importance of timing. Because for those pineapples, I nurtured all five. You're in the same soil, in the same space. Only one here. Why is that? Why is that? We're going to talk about time. But what I want you to do right now, if you're not even sure how to find your way now, to find your purpose, to find your way over or across the Red Sea, comment in this section. Because we're one community now. We want to share with everybody now to help each other out. This is what we're doing. We're helping each other. One help one. And one of the things that I'll be using in this podcast, remember the name of this podcast is called Climbing Above Rocks. Yeah, as I said, I decided to start to find a way. Decided to start. I want a nice fancy space for my podcast, but I said let's start. Let's find a way. So, if we're able to start now, to find a way now, what are we waiting on? What are we waiting on to get to the other side? Yeah, because you're trying to tell yourself that you don't know how to find a way. We're finding a way now. We are making it very simple now. And then we'll begin to work some more and we'll get some fancy gear and all these things to fancy up the space and all of that. And I don't even know if I want to do that, but you can tell me as well, because now we're starting to find a way. We're finding a way to make this podcast possible. Remember, the name of this podcast is Climbing Above Rocks. I promise you that I will tell you what's the meaning behind that as we progress through the other videos that we have. I've come a far way. I've come a far way about finding my way. I am still on my journey. What about you? I am still on my journey. What about you? But while on the journey, the various stops that I've made on the journey, they have been great. They have been a blessing. And for each stop, I'm empowered to get to the next level, to get to the next stop. Yeah? So, what are you doing to find your way? What is the Red Sea before you? Comment. Yeah? And let's talk. Let's help each other. Thank you for sharing with me. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. And let's find a way. Let's find a way together. Join me on the Climbing Above Rocks YouTube channel and click subscribe.